All right, folks, welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, July 10th, day after my dad's birthday. Great to have all of our students and members back alike inside our live trading room. Jeff, Tim, you got Leda from just before, Kathleen, Michael, Bill, Dave, Roberto, Rob, got all of our students now joining us back inside our live trading room. Great to see you all there. Great to have all of us back, though. Otherwise, social media, bottom left, at Cyber Trading You, right down below. Kind of bright in here, a little bright here in the home office, but otherwise great to have all of us back here on the socials down below at Cyber Trading You. If you are new to our streams, new to our platform or channel, just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button down below. Always feel free to leave a like as well, leave a little comment on this video too. But with that said, let's hop right into the thick of things. Fred, Jeff, Michael as well joining us in chat. So Coinbase is up a little bit today. It's having a good afternoon thus far, a little rounded top here maybe. But the reason I'm just on this is because, of course, Bitcoin is breaking new all-time highs, or it's like, on the cusp of it, pretty much doing it right now as we're talking. We're on the way up towards 115,000. Yesterday, going into the mid to late morning, I was telling you, hey, I think there's a good chance we could see this even heading into today. So with the break above 110, it's been smooth sailing since. You'd like to say about time, right? Because if you've been following Bitcoin for a little bit, across the whole year, pre-tariff situation with Trump and China and all the countries, it was on the verge of just flying right then. And then things happened and we saw a spike in the market, spike in Bitcoin. Then obviously the slingshot back up afterwards. So I think that all systems are a go now. They're good to go. I think that we're going to get a big push, not just up to 115, but just long term. We're going to focus more on this inside our live trading room, but probably up towards 125. I'm looking at 125. There's actually big resistance here at 120,000. Of course, we need to respect and focus on first. So I'll probably just use the range of these two together, 120 to 125,000 is my next big target for Bitcoin, at least there. Now, going back to coin, it's had a good day today. Nothing really too special about it as much. John's saying no volume. That could just be John. And back in, probably a little glitch right there. I believe I'm good to go at least. It could always be, just the system. Do a little log out, log back in. John should be good. Robinhood, though, up a little bit more percentage-wise. This one is today. It's on the way back up to 100. I like this one more, at least comparing apples to oranges this afternoon, Coinbase to Robinhood. But what we'll do is just go across the percent gainers list here in a moment, folks. Actually, another Bitcoin stock up like number 3 on the gainers list here, at least. But it's not just the Bitcoin stocks. The whole market's up today, right? We've had a great day altogether. NVIDIA, Amazon, Uber, a lot of name brand stocks and equities are doing phenomenal. They're at the all-time highs or they're right there. So let's just go right from top to bottom here, see what we could build up. I'll actually get my volume bars out here for this one, show you the little volume bars that come in here. So ABVE, above food ingredients, whatever this company is, had a great run at the market open. Beautiful move. And how about this? Let me ask our students at least, Michael, Jeff, Fred, John, all of our students at least that can hear me inside our room. What time is reversal time? What time do we expect reversals to happen within the market, folks? Listen, this is not a foolproof formula, because if it was, you and I would not have a need to be doing this right now on a Thursday on the internet, right? But it's a rule of thumb, something that we focus on at first. And that's where we tell you, hey, going into like 10:15, 10:30, most stocks by then are losing their momentum. They should look to fall off pretty damn soon if they haven't already. Point being is that, yeah, this pushed up a little bit higher after 10:30, but it came back down just as hard, if not harder, and it's just dead now in the water. So, hey, if you traded this stock from the morning from like 9:45, 10 o'clock a.m., you had plenty of room to work with going until 10:30, if not maybe a little bit more. But this is some low float, no name company. No offense to anyone that actually knows this company, but we've never traded the stock before. It actually has like not a microscopic float like some of these do. It's still pretty low, but otherwise we've actually traded some crazier stocks in the past. Just looking at the daily chart, though, this is where I tell you, when you look at this chart and showing just this big drop from July this time last year, one freak little move up here like this, and that's it. You can't trust this stock as far as you could throw it, right? So it's a day trade. It remains a day trade, but we're not going to focus on it here for this afternoon. I think it's done. This stock definitely is done because it was done the second the news hit. This is a buyout. And this is just a buyout, actually a huge one, up over 200%. once it became official. But buyouts don't move, right? So we kind of move away from those personally. BTCM, let's see here. So my get my charting back up at least here. So BTCM had a big pop early in the morning here, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning here. So pushed up from 5, did a McDouble, doubled up towards actually up towards like 11, nearly 12, and then came back down. Again, though, low float, low volume. It's flavor of the day, flavor of the morning, and that is pretty much it. This one just tanked pretty much shortly after the market opened, and that was a wrap. So once they show direction and it's the downward direction, just want to focus on other trades going up. I mean, the more time we're spending on BTCM, you miss out on stocks like SQNS, right? So this thing's been pushing up exceptionally well, as good as you could possibly see a stock trade. And I know Rich called this one out here. He was on top of this early, calling out big resistance at first at 290, and just at 141 Eastern time, he wrote to you that it broke above that resistance. The more it keeps testing, it's going to lead to the pop, leads to the breakout. So phenomenal dollar plus move off of that level that Rich wrote to you inside our room. And yeah, we're going to put this on our list here. Obviously, got to start with putting this on our list to begin. Only concern is that this is flavor of the day, flavor of the, not the morning, but of the afternoon. So this is a low float stock. Wheels are going to eventually fall off on this one too. So be mindful. You got resistance at $4, 32,000 share seller currently showing. Then after that, likely up top next would be 5. All right, let's just actually get this scrunched up here. There we go. A little bit of this. All right, cool. So STKH reminds me of the word stink. STKH, stakeholder foods. I guess not stink. The chart's stinking it up though, that's for sure. Lower highs. This is dead. QTTB. I saw this earlier. I was going to make this call out earlier. It was kind of low volume, but pushed up nicely at the time. It's always better to be safe than sorry, especially if you're working on a stock that you're not familiar with, something that's unreliable. Now, this stock MP has been anything but unreliable. This has been perfect swing move over time, really from the beginning of this year, but even after this drop heading into late May. Hell of a bounce from that point to where it broke new highs. It flipped that actually flawless into support right before their earnings came out today. So, yeah, nice move up so far this morning on MP. Listen, I could put it on our main special list because it's a really healthy daily chart, making a little bounce right now too, perhaps. See if there's anything looking even better going down the gainer side here. Maybe something that's not trading as much volume even, kind of on the brink of breaking out. This is a weird one. This is a buyout also. Kellogg's got bought out by, what was it, Ferrero Rocher, the Italian chocolate maker. It was a $3 billion transaction. So the thing is on this was that it ended up popping in the after hours at first. Maybe that was like kind of off the rumor. And once the news was made official at whatever price, well, it came back down a bit. It's still up a lot from 4 p.m. yesterday, at least. But yeah, it had a couple of weird buyouts recently with Kellogg and then also this one, Coors. CoreWeave ended up buying CORZ. Stock price tanked afterwards. A couple of weird buyouts there, right? We don't trade them. It's kind of just show and tell, and that's all. But keep going through here, folks. So if there's anything else looking good, just that's up, that's making a big move up today for Michael, Kathleen, Steve, Brad, all of us just inside our room. You let me know just in advance if there's anything else looking good. ASST, the stock we've done very well on in the past year from the last couple months. From the beginning of May, this was, I think, one of the first companies, maybe number 1, number 2, that came out with news of them being a Bitcoin-based holdings company. They're adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, to their treasury. That was a little while back, from like end of May or beginning of May rather. So we've been trading it on and off since today. Nice little move, bounce, still kind of building higher lows, I guess. So, and do I put it on our list? For now, I don't mind it. I'll add it. See if there's anything looking even sharper on the way up there. That's closer to the highs. So wait, all the airlines are doing good today, right? I mean, namely with the market, but also off of Delta's earnings. Delta ended up reassuring their 2025 fiscal year guidance. They ended up beating the earnings, beat the revenue. I think they're expecting to increase rev by like 4% over the next year. Nice move on the swing. UAL itself is having a great day here. I think probably even better than Delta. And then American Airlines, this is a really slow moving stock, guys. So do not expect for this to like make some crazy run, go up to 1350 by today. It's a real slow mover. Maybe it could do that into tomorrow. You know what? For now, if you want me to put kind of like UAL and American Airlines specifically on our list, I don't mind doing that. The Delta trade is the one off the news, but I feel like this is a little slow. It's a decent swing trading chart, though. I feel on the way back up, at least. It needs to get back above this area, though, I'd say, kind of above this loose resistance here over time. All right, folks. Anything else looking good here? You let me know. Just running through the rest of the gainer side here. Poet, Amy, all about you. There's our American Airlines trade there. Hertz, coming back down now. I was gonna possibly add that to our list, but not so much at this point. JetBlue. Don't want to disrespect anyone that likes JetBlue. I always think of Delta, American, United. I never really think about JetBlue when it comes to these airline stocks. Ondas, ONDS, this is a drone company. Shout out to Ryan Faluna, Benzinga Pro. No, but this ended up making a pretty good move from like the beginning of this year. It's trying to go back up a little bit now. Just really slow stock, right? So if you find this to be like watching the grass grow here, I agree, right? There's no debate on that. It's a very slow moving stock. So I'd rather even focus on things that are a little bit more lively, more worth the time for this afternoon. Tesla, right? So going back to Tesla, TSLL, this is flying back on up towards the highs. Yeah, this easily we're going to put on our list. Tesla, the TSLL, Nvidia, not so much. Amazon's like having an all right day, I guess, like back to basically where it closed yesterday afternoon. What else? Go like a Palantir. This isn't really doing jack. So really the one that's doing nicely across the name brand stocks is just Tesla. Focus on TSLA, TSLL, Joby, JOBY too. This is not name brand, big company, but obviously JOBY, it's at the high of the day. It's up over 7%, so we like it. But this has been flying for a little while now. I mean, no pun intended, literally. It's an EVTOL aircraft stock. It's basically a air taxi stock. We've been talking about Archer and Joby and going back to that Ondas trade, ONDS, that too. But the Joby now from the last 2 to 3 weeks has been kind of taking control. The Archer was the better of the two for a long while. I think Joby's the better of them now. So I'm going to add JOBY. I'm going to add Joby to our list. Anything else here before we finish up here, folks? Across the gainer side, COGT up over 5%. That was from like earlier this week. AUPH, not terrible. Needs a kick in volume there. QS, you got KSS. All right, nothing else looking great. All right, hop over to the loser side here again, Michael. You got Fred, you got Leda, Wendy, you got Bill, you got all of our members inside our live trading room. You let me know if anything else looks good. Otherwise, though, this got hit in the face of the frying pan. So speaking about looking good or not, this does not look too nice, right? And what the hell happened here? Down over about 88%, nearly 90% so far this afternoon. What was this? CIGL? SIGL? No news. There's not even any news out for this stock as to why it's down so much. Imagine like taking like a midday siesta. Imagine taking like a little doze off, a little sleep, and then you wake up all of a sudden your position's down 90%. Yeah, I can't imagine that either, actually. So pretty crazy to see at least happening at 12 o'clock, 12:20 in the afternoon. This happened, though, recently, though. Earlier this week, we saw this stock, PHH, get demolished. And we're talking about this drop, not the day after even. So, dropped about 90% this day. Then yesterday, it was down about 16 or no, it was down about 60 more percent. How much lower could it go? It can go to zero. That's how much lower it could drop towards. So, not going to add this to our list. Not worth the time. MREO, this looks like it's going lower. Can't short these stocks really. And maybe you can. You just, got to request the shares. But, we got too many irons in the fire here so far. We got a lot of different trades to work with, from the gainer side. And then namely, if there's just stocks that are at the lows, this is kind of curdling back up a little bit maybe, but if there's stocks near or at the lows that are easy to borrow, that are shortable, then that would be our focus. KWM, hard to borrow. Got the soon trade. This was my trade of the day, quite frankly. It's not just about the winners. It's not just about the making money. Because hey, we could all, taunt those, trades and profits, oohs and ahs. It's about learning how to get out before disaster hits, right? Do I care about leaving money on the table, or do I care about not getting out at the high where I could have locked up some good money? Yeah, of course. But I'd care a hell of a lot more if I stayed in this soon trade after it broke my level. So this came down going into the morning, and I figured, I'm like, all right, well, the fact it's dropping here going into 9:45, 9:50 in the morning, that's not a good sign, because much like I asked Fred, Michael, Mike P, Jeff, Jim, you got Bob, Bill, Russell, all of our students inside our room. Hey, what time's reversal time? 10:30. So if it's 9:45 in the morning and it's dropping, odds are it's probably going to keep dropping. Take your money and run. I was in from 12:45. I got out at 12:69. I felt good with the exit, and I felt great afterwards because it just plunged. I have no thought on getting back in on this as a swing trade until it can reflip that 1270 again into support. If it can get back over this, solidify over to support, I'll try it right back again. Why not? Because it's still a pretty healthy chart, but just perhaps right place, wrong time at first. You know what I mean? All right, folks, last call here, or I guess round two, second round, last call, whatever you want to call it. Anything else, folks, looking good? You let me know. Michael's saying at the high of the day, Jobby. Yep, we got that there looking pretty good. HELE, Michael also saying got beat up. Yeah, from earlier, but not really too much to work with on this one for right now, at least for this afternoon. Remember, you want to focus on stocks near the lows if it's on the loser side, or near the highs if it's on the gainer side there. Sharon asking, will you show your winners list again, please? You mean the gainer side? Yeah, I mean right here. This is the gainers list at least. So we'll run it one more time, see what other trades we may have. We got a decent list, nothing too bad, and in fact, Tesla makes it pretty interesting, because even if you don't trade TSLA, you got the ETF, you got TSLL, right? Um, go through one more time. Last call here across the gainer side here, at least. So yes, QNS already got on there. That's at the top of our list. So, we're definitely going to be focused on that one. The MP trade, it's a great chart, great swing. It might be up too much percentage wise for one day for a small cap stock to make the run that it made back from June, and then this giant gap. I feel like more likely than not, it will eventually consolidate and come back down. So, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'll pass on putting this on our main list so far. Great trade, though. Really nice chart long term. All right, folks, I think that's going to wrap it up here, at least for the time being. So I'll tell you, I like what we got here heading into the close. Now, if you're in our live trading room for Sharon, Michael, Fred, you got Bill, Dave. Who else we got here? We got Farzad joining us. Always great to see him. And Carlos and Scott and Chuck V. We got Chuck Z as well, and Brian and Charlene, Jim, and all of us just here. Hey, we're going to post this list, and then from there, Rich will be on the mic taking you into the close. I'll be on a coaching session with one of our students, so I'll be here in the chat. So for myself and my student Alex, if we look to jump into anything, I will be the first to let you know, of course. But otherwise, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, popping up right down below there, lower left, right below me, at Cyber Trading You. If you're new to our stream, new to our platform, just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button right down below. Set the notification alert there too, so you know when we're going live. We're live each and every morning, afternoon. We have all sorts of events throughout the week, podcasts, workshops, webinar events coming up. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow for you folks. And again, for all of us inside our live room. So just stay tuned, and we'll be back on the mic coming up. Last one here. Ball went in the hoop at the buzzer there, Carlos. Buzzer beater. GRYP has huge iceberg order at 2. It's a ways away. It's a ways away. And this thing is like watching the grass grow. So, if it makes a giant pop with like Bitcoin or some news comes out, then there's a shot for that 2 level to get tested, Carlos. But It's up 9.5% today. It's doing all right. There could be more to it, maybe into tomorrow. I just feel like it's a ways away and it's not trading as much volume recent here. So it might just be best to keep this on our side list for right now and like focus on Jobby, focus on the Tesla trade and some of the others, at least initially, at least at first. All right, folks. But like I said, I'll be back coming up just inside our live trading room, myself and Rich together, just in the chat on the mic, taking you into the close. I'll talk to you all soon.